Have you ever looked at your life, all the pieces of your life, your spiritual background, your experiences, your gifts, your talents, your ability, your education, your intuition, your creativity, all the healing work that you have done, things that you have studied, things you wondered about, and you began to think to yourself, how does this all fit together? And because there are so many moving pieces, you may have even thought, I'm too different. My work is too hard to explain. That was my dilemma for many years. I have too many interests. People will not understand me. But what if all of that is a part of your uniqueness? And your uniqueness isn't the problem. Your uniqueness isn't the problem. It is the assignment. So, what would happen if the very things that seem to be difficult to categorize are the parts of the spiritual expression that your life has been preparing you to carry? This is good news today, beloved, and we're going to dive deep. So today I want to talk to us about what if your uniqueness isn't the problem, it's the assignment. The moment that you begin to stop asking, where do I fit? And begin asking, what is mine to uniquely embody, to uniquely express? Let's get into this today. So we are continuing in dimension 4 of the spiritual success identity pathway called adaptation. In week number 1, when we broke this open, we talked about owning the person your evolution has created, right? Owning the person your evolution has created. And week 2, last week, we explored the sacred work of integration, right? What do I retain? What do I release? What gets reinterpreted? What do I consciously weave and integrate in this beautiful tapestry that is now my life, now my identity? So now we're coming to another important movement in adaptation. So once you begin integrating what genuinely belongs to you, something unique begins to emerge. I want you to hear this. Once you start integrating all of these unique parts of you, all these things, something beautiful and unique and uncommon starts to happen. What starts emerging is a unique expression, a sacred synthesis, if you will. And then you pause and say, God, you have to love your life. That all of these pieces, all of these crazy things that have happened, things you've experienced, and now you're weaving it together and you're creating this synergy of all of these pieces in this beautiful tapestry. What begins to emerge is something unique. Listen, beloved, not a copy, not a category, not a spiritual identity that you borrowed from someone else, but a unique expression, a sacred synergy, a sacred synthesis, a sacred, beautiful tapestry. I'm going to keep saying that because I want you to become confident in who you are. And this is where some people become uncomfortable. They become uncomfortable because it's much easier to imitate something that already exists. Y'all not going to talk back to me today. It's easier to imitate something that already exists than to trust something that is taking shape through you. But I'm here to anchor us in this dimension of adaptation and inviting you to go deeper. This adaptation is asking you to stop settling and stop editing the result of who you are. Oh, we're going somewhere today. So we're going to take our time and go deep. Let's go ahead and activate the success mind. Yes, activate the success mind. And we want this to get into the cells. Come on, you know the drill. Hand on heart and hand on your core self. Take a good healing deep breath in. You could close your eyes if that's helpful. If not, just let your eyes go soft if you're not in a place where you could close them. And beware of your inward environment. Become aware of your awareness inward. Turn that focus inward to the rich inner life, the kingdom of God that is within. And ask yourself this question. Breathe, exhale. And ask the question, what part of me have I been trying to make easier for other people to understand? Pause. Breathe. What have you minimized because it felt too difficult? I'm talking real today. Breathe. What have you separated because you did not know how the pieces could coexist, how they can fit? Over the years of coaching and mentoring my clients and my students, one of the things that I had to get them to see, because we all come from that traditional Christian background, is that your ministry and your business are not two separate things. They coexist because they all flow out of your sass, out of your strongest, authentic spiritual self. It all flows out of the greatness and uniqueness that you are, right? Come on in. Let me take a moment and greet you guys. Great Grand Rising. Come on in. Let me see who's here today. Give me a great Grand Rising. Thanks for joining us live. Facebook is here. Thanks for joining us live today. All right. So let's go ahead and open this up. So you have all of these moving pieces. So allow this question to just kind of simmer. What if the difference, your difference, isn't the problem? I call it your uniqueness. We have a whole unique identity path that we teach in the spiritual success community on this identity pathway. I want you to silently affirm this to yourself today. Breathe, relax, and affirm. I want it for myself as well. I give myself permission to recognize the sacred pattern within my uniqueness. Write that down. I give myself permission to recognize, to embrace, and embody the sacred pattern within my uniqueness. I do not have to reduce myself to become something understandable, because the right people are going to understand you. Your people, your tribe are waiting for you. They're looking for your signal. I am willing to discover what is uniquely mine. Beloved, this is when you start tapping in to real power. This is when you start honoring what I call your wealth codes. And my whole objective with us is to support us and support this community into being able to hold and live and have enough capacity, inward capacity, to hold the assignment that you have been called to. You know, you are not here to be a carbon copy. You're not here to mimic. You are not here to be that chameleon, as many of us highly sensitives are. I was the queen of chameleon. I could be whatever I need to be whenever I need to be it, right? But now we want to be able to hold what is uniquely ours without abandoning, without deformation, without backsliding or back translating ourselves into something we know we've already grown out of. Let me just check again. Great Grand Rising, Lisa, Grand Rising, Reese, Grand Rising, Jewel, thanks for joining us live. All right, let's go. So let's look at this teaching point, number one. Uniqueness is what emerges when integration becomes personal. Can you hear what I'm giving you today? We talked about personal salvation in the 70s and 80s when the born again movement became very popular here in the United States, right? We talk about having this personal relationship with God. And for our purposes in our community, God lives within. As sacred text teaches us, God is within. So if God is within, and we have this personal relationship, we want to start embracing the uniqueness of who you have been called to be. I want us to take a moment to just celebrate right here. I want you to think about your beautiful uniqueness, all the different moving parts of you, all the brilliant pieces, everything you've learned, you've studied, you've experienced, how you work, your career, your intelligence, your intellectual property, every job you've held, every volunteer experience you've had, every relationship you've been in, all of it was here to help to grow your sass so that you filtered through all of those experiences, good, bad, indifferent, horrible, traumatic, traumatizing. All of it was working together. Didn't feel good. Come on, not everything felt good. That's why the sacred text says, in everything, give thanks. It didn't say for everything. In it, we give thanks that we are alive, we're moving through it. And the only way to get out, beloved, is to go through. I want you to stop allowing yourself to put the brakes on in the middle. I'm talking to somebody today. And I'm commanding you to breathe, regulate your nervous system, and walk through. That's how you're going to get out. One step at a time. I had a choice this morning to either exercise this morning because I missed a couple of days this week, or wait till tomorrow. And then I remember the principle that I've heard years ago that I teach in my community, and that is this. You want to write this down. Monday has killed more dreams than failure ever could. Monday have robbed more people of their dream than failure ever could. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it on Monday. Then I said this to myself as well. These are all the things you have to do to regulate yourself. Because every time you start negotiating with yourself, I'm going somewhere. Every time you negotiate with yourself and you choose comfort over growth, you're disrespecting yourself. Write that down. So we call these all of these little forks, these fork moments, F-O-R-K, fork, where you could split it off in either direction. And I remember my own teaching. I told y'all I eat this food as well. I'm not just here giving it to you. I first work it for myself, then I bring it to you. As I bring it to you, I work it for myself. So these mini fork moments where you could peer off in either direction. And then I remembered my own teaching. Monday have killed more dreams than failure ever could. And every time you negotiate with yourself, Ilona, you're disrespecting yourself, your value, your worth, your honor. So what did I do? Got in there and said, I'm not waiting for Monday. I'm starting today. I'm doing it today. All right. And then tomorrow will just be a bonus. So uniqueness is what emerges when integration becomes personal. Your uniqueness is not something you manufacture. It's not branding. It's not trying to be different. Watch this. It is what naturally emerges when truth, wisdom, experience, gift, revelation, and formation of that genuine experience belongs to you, and you own it. So right now, today, I want you to really just breathe and relax, settle yourself, and honor, what did we say? Every version of yourself. Every experience, good, bad, or indifferent, even the horrible trauma Let's take a moment to just give thanks that we moved through that. We lived through that. I could just clap my hand. Come on, something's going to come up. One thing came up for me today. I know we have many, but one thing is going to come up. I don't want you to meditate on it. I just want you to celebrate. You're not there. You moved through that. This is why your uniqueness is so important, because two people can study the same scripture, hear the same spiritual principle, the same psychology, the same metaphysics, watch this, or even the same mystical tradition, depending on what your background is, and still produce some very different expressions. That's the beauty of who we are, beloved. That's the beauty of who we are. Because wisdom does not pass through everyone the same way. This is why you don't ever have to be jealous. You don't have to be a controlling gatekeeper. You don't have to be afraid to share what you know with people at the appropriate time, because you want to get it for yourself first, right? Because no two people are going to come out with the exact same expression. Even if you quote the same answer. So I learned this week that apparently, and those of you that have children, grandchildren in school, talk back to me. I hear that homework is somewhat outdated. One of my granddaughters, shared last year that they didn't get homework. She was a junior, now she's a senior. She said, we don't get homework. So I asked her, Mom, is homework somewhat outdated? She said it appears to be, even on shows that we're watching that have children in school, they don't do homework anymore. I said all of that to say this. Even if you're in the same room, hearing the same instruction, and school did teach us how to memorize answers and take a test. And then they would grade us on how well we memorized. But y'all talk back to me, but there was very little integration into life skills. Many things that they taught us, we didn't use it, especially in the area of math. Y'all remember too. I remember going through algebra and geometry and calculus and asking, what am I going to use this for? They never said. But we had to learn it and we had to pass it, or else we got a failing grade. Talk back to me, y'all. Yes, we got a failing grade if we didn't memorize those answers. I understood more about algebra in the real life as far as figuring out equations and figuring out how things fit and how to measure things when there's a missing component. So all of that to say this, you don't ever have to be jealous or worry about sharing information, because no two people are going to filter that information as it passed through. Listen, your lived experience, your temperament, your questions, your wounds, your healing. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's coming to the table from different experiences. Even if you share some experiences, it's still unique, because that information passes through your level of intellect, your discerning intuition, your cultural formation. All of us don't have the same cultural formation. We all don't have the same kind of creativity, right? Some people are gifted in one area, others in another. Your spiritual giftings, your relationship with the divine, all of that information passes through all of that. The truth may be universal, but the expression becomes particular. It becomes what I like to call uncommon when it passes through you, when you get your hands on it. So I want you to say this. 1,000 people may do what I do, but they can't produce what I produce when I put my hands on it. Because all of my uniqueness now comes together, and when I put my hands on it, nobody can stand near it. All right? The truth may be universal, but the expression becomes particular to you. So you got to love yourself. You have to love what you do. You have to love your gifts, your insight, the way that you understand things, the way you explain things, the way you love, your empathy, your sympathy, your compassion, your grace. You have to love all of that about yourself and honor it. And then ask for ways to express more of that. That particular expression, beloved, is a part of your spiritual identity. That's what the spiritual success identity pathway is all about. Helping you to become aware, awaken, align, adapt, activate who you are as your spiritual identity. Point number 2, stop asking, where do I fit? I remember when I started on this journey for myself, and I got the revelation of, stop worrying about where do you fit and how can all that you have grown into fit in those boxes. If those environments are not conducive for you to fit in, then create your own box, create your own environment, and then you're free to express yourself because you built it. And the ones who are drawn to you will come to what you build. We need to let that sit for a minute. Stop asking, where do I fit? And start asking, how can I create my own box, my own platform, my own storefront, my own business? I command you right now, with everything that is holy, divine, and sacred, stand up straight. See yourself and trust what you see. So many spiritually evolving people spend years trying to locate the right category. Am I still a Christian? Am I metaphysical? Am I a mystic? Am I a coach? Am I a teacher? Am I a minister? Am I intuitive? Am I a spiritual mentor? Am I a spiritual healer? Beloved, I am all of that. I'm not trying to chop myself up into pieces anymore to fit in a certain box. I've taken all that, my Christian background, my metaphysical expression. I am a mystic. I am a coach. I am a mentor. I am a minister, duly ordained. I am an intuitive. I'm in all those categories. How many categories are you in? See, when they tell you stay in your lane, and then one of the rappers, I forget who it was that put the line in the song, there's no traffic in your lane. Because that's your particular, individual, uncommon lane that you are traveling. Can you hear what I'm saying to you today? Talk back to me. Breathe that in. Breathe that in. Sometimes categories are useful, don't get me wrong, but we don't want to start chopping ourselves up to fit into somebody's idea of a category. Because there comes a point when the search for the perfect category becomes another form of self-limitation. I lived there for years. Self-limitation. You begin trying to make yourself fit the language instead of allowing the language to describe what has actually emerged. So when I sit here on this platform in this sacred environment that we have created, I am free to express the language that my heart and my spirit is saying, this is for you. Give this to your community. We never force anything. And whatever you can resonate, whatever resonates, whatever fits for you, take it, right? So the deeper question is no longer, where do I fit? It becomes, what is uniquely mine to embody, to live, to express? We're not going anywhere far until we learn how to embrace the uniqueness, your sass, walking in your sass, right? Point number 3, and this is my final point for today. The parts of you that seem unrelated may be parts of the same assignment. So your life may contain many threads, right? The traditional religious formation, the mystical experiences, the leadership, the business, your career path, psychology, astrology, numerology, healing, creativity, all the things, nervous system awareness, prophetic insight, education, all these things, right? I'm listing all these things because I want you to locate yourself. All the service that you've given your whole life. At a glance, some of these things may look unrelated, but adaptation teaches you to ask, what if these threads have been gathering around one deeper assignment? See, this is my deeper assignment. This is deeper than just being a Christian pastor in a Christian church, teaching denominational ideology, denominational and sometimes man interpretation of sacred texts. This is deeper. I pulled all of that to ask now, what is the deeper assignment? And my deeper assignment is to help you unfold your God-given uniqueness, your spiritual identity, embrace that assignment of just to living with it, right? Regulating the nervous system, understanding the 3D physical realm versus the 5D, 6D dimension. That's my deeper assignment. So the box that I fit myself into, and we're thankful for the box. This is not about a hierarchy. This is not making you superior. It's making you unique and uncommon. What if all those threads have been gathering around a deeper assignment? That's what you have to come to understand. You may have spent years thinking, what am I interested? Why, like me, am I interested in all these things? But then later I realized, as others do, they were not random interests. They were all preparing a language, a wisdom, a perspective for the work that I'm here to do right now. And the same is true in your life. So let's take a good healing deep breath in. Exhale. Just sit for a moment. Just sit with that for a moment. So I want you sitting today, today, I want you to start mapping out your journey. So this week, and I want you to do this, come back, rewind this, and get this assignment. I want you to make a map. So in a journal, I want you to take a sheet of paper and divide it into 4 so that you have 4 quadrants, right? And I want you to start asking these questions. What have I lived, right? What experiences have deeply shaped how I understand life, how I understand God, how I understand people? What have I lived? What healing process have I gone through? How I understand my identity or my purpose. What have I lived? Then in the next quadrant, ask yourself, what have I learned? What have I learned? What teachings? What traditions? What field of study? The skills? What body of knowledge have meaningfully influenced my life? Because I'm a teacher by nature, I was born a teacher. I can go into any cultural environment, any body of knowledge. I could sit and learn things that most people never even would try to learn, have no interest in learning, don't care about it. It doesn't matter what religious pantheon is from. It doesn't. I will sit and listen to a Hindu person teach, a Muslim person teach, a Jewish person teach. Doesn't matter to me. I'll even listen to an atheist teach. I found that atheists are some of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life, and they have something to say. Does that make me an atheist? No. Does it mean I'm going to hell? No. This is when you start owning your uniqueness. Now, somebody that doesn't have my assignment, they can't do that. Somebody in the future may listen to this tape and say, oh, she's a witch, she's going to hell, whatever, because that's their experience. If I say I could listen to an atheist talk or teach, and they're some of the most intelligent people, every atheist I've ever come across, and I listen to them talk, express themselves, or teach, they're some of the most intelligent people that I've ever encountered. Now, the traditional religious evangelists from many traditions would want to convert that person. I'm not interested in converting them if they're not interested in converting. That's not my assignment. Do y'all talk back to me if you hear what I'm saying? This is not against traditional religion, not against the pastor, prophet, evangelist, teacher, not against any of that. We all have our uniqueness. And that's what I'm saying. When I stand before the Creator, as our tradition taught us will happen, I can stand there with a clear conscience, knowing that I did, to the best of my ability, the assignment that was given to me. The third quadrant, I want you to ask, what do I carry? What are the gifts? What sensitivity? What insight? What ways of seeing? What is my creative capacity? What forms of wisdom just seem natural to me? What do I carry? And the fourth quadrant, I want you to notice what keeps repeating, what themes, what questions, what problems, what people, what teaching subjects, right? What continual keep returning through my life. Then ask what pattern appears when I place all four of these quadrants together. I was always interested in personal development, the subconscious mind, the way things work, because a part of my moon sign, for those of you all that understand that, always wants to know what's the deeper meaning beneath the surface. If you're teaching me a concept and showing me how something works, I want to know, why does it work? Why does this work? What's beneath that makes it work? That's why I could teach things like the School of the Prophets or the School of Prayer Technology. I want to know, well, how does prayer work? Then I found out it didn't work the way I thought it worked, or the way we were taught that it worked. All right? So sit with that four quadrant and start noticing things, and then look at what part of yourself have you labeled that's too much. People won't understand it. That can't be a part of my gifting. I'm afraid to embrace that. They're going to think that I'm a heretic. Let them think all they want, as long as you know this is who I truly am. This is my spiritual identity, my strongest, authentic spiritual self, and this is the assignment that God sent me here to fulfill. I'm going to fulfill mine. Are you fulfilling yours, or are you still trying to fit in to please everybody? Are you still shrinking your wisdom? Are you hiding the best parts of yourself? Today, give yourself permission to be free, to flow, and to have fun. All right, lovelies. Thoughts, questions, comment, feedback before we go. I just got deep into being carried away today. Share this on your timeline. Don't forget, when we're done, go back, like the video, put a comment under the video. Let's bring me out of the algorithm. My goal now is, before YouTube change in 2027, for you to be eligible to be monetized, they're going to double the criteria. So I need to get 1,000 subscribers in the next 4 months. Well, not quite 1,000, maybe 900, which is not a lot. And the watch time need to boost the 4,000 hours of watch time. Next year, they're going to double that. So you have to have 2,000 subscribers and 8,000 hours of watch time in order to qualify. So I've been sitting here a lot of years doing this. Let's make it pay off. What can I do, Dr. E? Make sure you go to YouTube, Spiritual Success TV, and subscribe. Anybody you know that can use this valuable teaching, ask them to do you a favor and help out Dr. E and subscribe. Ask your children, your grandchildren, ask them to subscribe and then leave a comment. All right? Love you guys. All right, so let me see who's here. Say, all right, bye for now, guys. All right, bye for now. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching from, do that for me. That won't cost us anything. All right, listen to the replay. If you came in late, have a blessed, wonderful, and amazing rest of your week adapting, weaving your tapestry, and owning all parts of who you are. Bye for now.